Last week, Netflix held a 3-hour-long roast of Tom Brady, which was hosted by Kevin Hart and includes famous comedians like Andrew Schultz and Tony Hinchcliffe rubbing shoulders with Brady's teammates like Rob Gronkowski and Julian Edelman, with a guest appearance from stars like Kim Kardashian and Ben Affleck. It was the most star-studded event in a while that wasn't a cringy award show. So, who made us laugh? Who made us cringe? And who surprised us? Here are the top 5 funniest and the bottom 5 humorless performances from the roast of Tom Brady. On the not-so-funny bracket, first we got Randy Moss, a former teammate of Tom Brady's who come to the roast dressed as a public school teacher. His entire jokes revolve around how he never won the Super Bowl with Brady. His jokes devolve from unfunny to cringy when he starts to beg Tom to give him one of his Super Bowl rings. Even though his set was not funny, he sits on the bottom of the cringy list because he is not a professional entertainer, so we can give him a pass on this one. Speaking of pass, you know who passed his comedy debut with flying colors? Tom Brady. The GOAT showed us he can do everything, even roasting people by going after everyone, on a hilarious rant from his opponents like Peyton Manning and the Chiefs to many other different football teams he defeated, to Kim Kardashian and her family, to his ex-wife. But his worst was saved for his coach. Tom laid to rest the question whether the success of Patriots was because of him or Bill Belichick by saying,
"I've been out of the game for a minute, so I'm curious. How many Super Bowl rings have you won since I left?"
The fourth unfunniest roaster of the night was Will Ferrell. Dressed as his character Ron Burgundy from Anchorman, he tried to play a tired old skit from the turn of the millennia and failed to make anyone laugh. It must be sad to know that the most likable part of you is a fictional character you play over 20 years ago. Ferrell tried to be funny, but just like in the movie Anchorman, he was overshadowed by a woman, which will take us to the funny column. One of the highlights of the night was a set by Nikki Glazer, a comedian whose name most of the audience never heard of before the roast. Nikki held her own, telling joke after joke targeting Grank's intelligence, Kevin's height and Brady's failed marriage, becoming arguably the funniest set of the night, getting a standing ovation from the audience and a shout out from Kevin Hart.
Nikki, in all seriousness, that was insane. Brilliant writing, brilliant timing, great set.
But this convincing case for women being funny was dealt a huge blow when Kim Kardashian take the stage and proceed to suck like the stage was Ray J's D, getting booed off the stage by the live audience, which Netflix has to edit out from the video. If you're still watching, smash the like button like it's a Kardashian and you're a black athlete, and subscribe to the channel for more videos that won't suck as much as Kim's jokes did. Getting back to the funnier side of things, we got a real-life cartoon villain named Andrew Schultz. Andrew became one of the funniest performers of the night by making fun of Kevin Hart's size and his friendship with The Rock and verbally obliterating Dana White, who was there in the audience, before turning his attention to Brady to mock him for being cucked by his wife, who slept with her trainer. By pushing the boundaries of what is allowed to make fun of, and with his goofy look, Andrew became one of the funniest performers of the night. Andrew might look goofy, but Ben Affleck was downright cringy. Nobody seems to understand what he was doing, including himself. The only good thing about his performance is from now on, Jiggly will not be the worst thing he has ever done. What he did cannot be considered comedy or a roast. What he did was he read some tweet from a football fan cursing at Tom Brady and go on to shame the fan who nobody knows and defend Tom Brady from his haters. We can only take his preachy talk as an endorsement speech of Tom Brady. What Kevin Hart say about it explained it more than I ever could.
Another piece of white boy humor.
This is the first time I ever wished Netflix had commercials.
Going back to the good part of the night, the best performance of the night was by Tony Hinchcliffe. If Andrew pushed the boundary, Tony smashed through it, making fun of every taboo concept in protected class. If you ever watch Kill Tony, you were not surprised by his offensive jokes, but if you're a green-haired liberal arts student, you had to ask your professor for a day off for emotional healing to work through your triggered feelings before opening your Trends account to complain. By these jokes, Tony didn't just make us laugh, he announces the end of PC culture and the return of comedy to the mainstream. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and if you have any thought on the video, leave it in the comments. Click the video on the screen to watch more videos like this one. I'll see you on the next one.